In the tumultuous aftermath of Japan's Meiji Restoration, the legendary assassin Kenshin Himura has sworn off killing, living a peaceful life with Kaoru and friends. However, his tranquil existence is shattered when the government requests his aid against Makoto Shishio, a ruthless former assassin burned alive and betrayed, now seeking vengeance and intent on overthrowing the new regime with his vast, fearsome army. Kenshin must confront his past and the specter of his blood-soaked legacy, embarking on a perilous journey to Kyoto to stop Shishio's reign of terror.
Shishio は自分の目でそれ
恨んでるってんだ。
分け目の戦いとなったボス。罪のない人々を巻き込むこと。
そうじゃねえか、外してやりな。やめろ。もう行っちゃうよ。どうしたそん心中ごっこか。
地獄お前が獅子王誠か。知れた。
動くなよ。なぜお前がもっと
裏切りか。
あの指図も受け。
身勝手な正義のために。
せやったらわいが手に入れて。おら！待てくれ！てめえこら！
最高やな。
Hey guys, today we are diving headfirst, reverse blade style, into the absolute whirlwind that is Rurouni Kenshin, Kyoto Inferno from 2014. If you thought the first movie was a wild ride, buckle up, because this one cranks the intensity dial all the way to 11 and then snaps the knob clean off. We're talking epic swordsmanship, political intrigue, and enough dramatic tension to make your popcorn sweat. Before you head off, if you're enjoying the kind of content I make, please consider liking and subscribing. No pressure, but it truly helps me keep the action coming. Our story kicks off, not with a bang, but with a horrifying whimper and the crackle of fire. We're immediately thrown into the dark origin of Makoto Shishio, a man whose backstory makes you wince just thinking about it. He was the successor to Kenshin as the government's shadowy hitman, the Batosai, but when his usefulness was deemed over, the new government decided to give him a rather fiery send-off. They shot him, doused him in oil, and set him ablaze. Honestly, terrible HR policy right there. Surviving this inferno, because apparently supervillains are just built different, Shishio now nurses an all-consuming rage and a body that's perpetually wrapped in bandages, looking like a mummy who decided to take over Japan instead of guarding ancient tombs. He leads a massive private army and intends to violently overturn the new, weaker Meiji government. This introduction sets the stage for a truly formidable antagonist, a man forged in literal fire and betrayal, and you can practically feel the heat emanating from his vengeful spirit through the screen. His menacing presence fills the air with a palpable sense of dread, a constant hum of danger. Back in Tokyo, far from the burning embers of Shishio's past, Kenshin Himura is living his best, most peaceful life at the Kamiya Dojo. The gentle clatter of wooden swords, the laughter of Kaoru and Yahiko, and the occasional boisterous presence of Sanosuke create a picture of serenity. Kenshin, the former Batosai, has found a quiet purpose in protecting those around him without spilling blood. His reverse blade Sakabato, with its dull edge facing out, is a symbol of his unwavering vow. He's teaching Yahiko, sharing meals with Kaoru, and generally just being the soft-spoken, slightly melancholic hero we've come to adore. The quiet hum of cicadas in the summer air, the rustle of leaves in the dojo courtyard, it all paints a picture of a man who has truly left his violent past behind. For now, anyway. This piece is, of course, completely shattered when Hajime Saito, Kenshin's old rival and now a police captain, strolls back into their lives with a grim countenance and a rather imposing squad of officers. The metallic clang of their boots on the dojo steps immediately signals that trouble has arrived. Saito, with his ever-present scowl and predatory gaze, delivers the news. Shishio Makoto is alive, very much not well, and rapidly gaining power. He's threatening to plunge Japan back into the chaos of civil war. The government, rather conveniently forgetting how they treated Kenshin in the past, wants him back. They want the Batosai to once again become their blade. Saito, ever the pragmatist, cuts through the pleasantries with the sharpness of his own Gatotsu technique, practically ordering Kenshin to take up the sword for the nation once more. Kenshin, however, refuses. His resolve is firm. He swore he would never kill again. The weight of his past deeds, the echoes of countless lives taken, are a constant burden on his soul, a dull ache that he carries every day. The air thickens with tension, a battle of wills between the stoic former assassin and the ruthless government official. You can practically hear the inner turmoil swirling within Kenshin, his resolve clashing with the dire reality Saito lays out. Saito, not one to take no for an answer, decides to demonstrate the gravity of the situation in the most dramatic way possible. He escorts Kenshin to a rather unsettling crime scene, a police station that has been utterly annihilated not by swords, but by pure, unadulterated firepower. The shattered glass, splintered wood, and scorch marks speak volumes. This isn't just about a rogue samurai. Shishio has modern weaponry, including powerful Gatling guns, which is kind of an unfair advantage in a sword fight, wouldn't you say? It's like bringing a tank to a knife fight, only the tank is also really good at martial arts. The sheer devastation leaves Kenshin wide-eyed, the acrid smell of burnt gunpowder still hanging heavy in the air. He sees firsthand that Shishio isn't playing by the old rules. This isn't just about dueling, it's about all-out war. The scale of destruction is shocking, and the message from Saito is clear. This threat is existential. Despite this horrifying display, Kenshin remains steadfast in his vow. He believes in the strength of his resolve and the power of peace. But Shishio, being the impatient type, decides to bring the war directly to Kenshin's doorstep. In a chilling display of his reach and brutality, one of Shishio's top enforcers, a rather flamboyant and genuinely creepy swordsman named Sawajo Cho, attacks the Kamiya dojo. Cho, with his ridiculously long, flexible, thin-blade sword that he keeps wrapped around his waist like a fashion accessory, makes quite the entrance. He's a psychopath who delights in pain and chaos, and his attack is a calculated move to force Kenshin's hand. The fight is fast and brutal. Cho, with his unsettling smile and a blade that practically whispers death as it slices through the air, quickly overwhelms the unprepared dojo residents. The crack of wooden training swords against Cho's metallic monstrosity is jarring. Kaoru, Yahiko, and even Sanosuke are outmatched by his speed and the unpredictable nature of his weapon. Kenshin, watching his friends fight for their lives, sees Yahiko's innocence and Kaoru's courage in peril. He has to act. This moment is Kenshin's turning point. The sound of Cho's blade whistling dangerously close to Kaoru's head, the terrified cry of Yahiko, it all ignites something deep within Kenshin. He finally draws his sakabato. The clang of metal against metal is sharp and decisive. Kenshin, in a display of blinding speed and precision, disarms Cho, but not without revealing a fraction of his former power, the terrifying aura of the Batosai. Cho, defeated but unrepentant, reveals Shishio's true target, Kenshin himself. He also drops a rather important bombshell. Shishio plans to burn Kyoto to the ground, a city filled with history and innocent lives. This piece of information, delivered with a chilling nonchalance, is the final push Kenshin needs. The image of Kyoto engulfed in flames, like Shishio himself once was, is too much for him to bear. The decision is made. He must go to Kyoto. The peaceful life, for now, is put on hold. The realization washes over him, a cold wave of inevitable fate. He knows, deep down, that this is a path he must walk alone, for the safety of those he loves. The weight of this decision settles heavily on his shoulders, a familiar burden he had hoped to shed forever. The farewell scene is genuinely heart-wrenching. Kenshin, dressed in his classic red kimono, stands before Kaoru, Yahiko, and Sanosuke. His face is etched with a mixture of resolve and sadness. He knows the danger he's heading into, and he knows the possibility that he might not return. Kaoru, ever the strong but emotional one, pleads with him not to go alone, her voice trembling. Sanosuke, despite his bravado, looks genuinely worried. Yahiko, with the wide-eyed innocence of youth, seems only to grasp the surface of the gravity. Kenshin, with a gentle touch to Kaoru's cheek and a rare, soft smile, assures them that he will return. But the unspoken fear hangs in the air, thick and heavy. He leaves, not with a dramatic exit, but with a quiet dignity, walking away from the life he built towards the one he desperately tried to escape. The soft crunch of his sandals on the gravel path is the only sound, a stark contrast to the internal storm raging within him. It's a poignant moment, a stark reminder of the sacrifices required of a true hero. Kenshin's journey to Kyoto isn't a leisurely stroll through scenic Japan. It's a path fraught with peril and unexpected encounters. His first significant stop is a small inn, where he quickly becomes embroiled in a comical yet dangerous encounter with a young kunoichi named Makimachi Misao. She's spirited, fiercely independent, and initially mistakes Kenshin for a thief because, well, he's a mysterious wanderer with a sword, and apparently that's enough to get on her bad side. Their initial skirmish is a charming blend of Kenshin's calm evasiveness and Misao's acrobatic attacks, all punctuated by the clatter of her kunai. It's a nice moment of levity before things get truly intense. Misao, who is part of the Oniwabanshu, a former ninja clan now serving as guardians of Kyoto, is desperately searching for her beloved Aoshi, their former leader. She's convinced he's alive and well, despite everyone else saying he's gone. She latches onto Kenshin, seeing him as a potential lead, probably because he just looks like the kind of guy who knows other mysterious, brooding swordsmen. She's like a tiny, determined bloodhound, and Kenshin, being Kenshin, can't quite shake her off. Their journey continues, and Kenshin soon finds himself on a train, a marvel of modern engineering in an era still clinging to tradition. It's on this train that Cho, the flamboyant psychopath from the dojo attack, reappears. Because apparently villains just love to monologue and revisit past acquaintances. This time, Cho isn't alone. He's backed by a small squad of heavily armed goons, all under Shishio's command, tasked with eliminating Kenshin. The confined space of the train carriage immediately elevates the tension. The rhythmic clang of the train wheels on the tracks becomes an ominous soundtrack to the impending battle. The air grows thick with anticipation, the subtle scent of coal smoke adding to the atmosphere.
The fight on the train is a masterclass in close-quarters combat. Kenshin, using his incredible speed and his unique hit-and Mitsurugi-Ryu style, dances through the narrow aisles, dodging bullets and deflecting blows. The metallic clang of his sakabato against Cho's flexible blade, the whoosh of air as he spins, the grunts of the thugs as they're disarmed and knocked out. It's a symphony of controlled chaos. Cho, with his unsettling grin, unleashes his thin blade again, an absurdly long and whippy sword that's almost comical until you realize how deadly it is. He tries to use it to whip around Kenshin, to constrict him to find any opening. But Kenshin is too fast, too precise. He moves with an almost supernatural grace, a blur of motion in the cramped space. He knows he can't kill, so every move is about neutralization, about disabling without fatal intent. It's a beautiful, brutal ballet of skill and restraint. Eventually, Kenshin manages to disarm Cho, sending his absurd sword clattering across the floor, and delivers a non-lethal but definitely painful blow that puts the villain out of commission. During the interrogation of the now bound Cho, Kenshin extracts crucial information. Shishio isn't just planning to burn Kyoto, he's amassed a massive battleship, the Purgatory, a floating fortress armed with powerful cannons. His plan is to sail this naval monstrosity to Tokyo and launch a direct assault on the government, effectively burning the new era to the ground. This revelation is a gut punch. A battleship? That's next-level villainy. It's not just about swords anymore, it's about naval warfare. This isn't just a threat to Kyoto, but to the entire nation. The scale of Shishio's ambition is truly terrifying. Kenshin realizes the true extent of the danger and the urgency of his mission. The quiet hum of the train now feels like the ominous rumble of distant thunder, signaling a storm of epic proportions. Upon finally arriving in Kyoto, Kenshin finds himself in a city bustling with life, a stark contrast to the devastation he's witnessed. He and Misao, who has now firmly attached herself to him, head to the Aoya Inn, the secret headquarters of the Oniwabanshu. Here, Kenshin meets Okina, the wise and weary current leader of the clan, an older, formidable figure who knew Kenshin from his Batosai days. Okina, with his shrewd eyes, immediately recognizes the weight Kenshin carries. He confirms Misao's fears. Aoshi has indeed fallen into darkness, driven by a perverse sense of loyalty and a warped desire for revenge, obsessed with defeating Kenshin to honor his fallen comrades. Aoshi, fueled by guilt and a profound sense of failure, believes that only by surpassing the legendary Batosai can he truly avenge his former compatriots. This twist adds a layer of tragic irony, turning a potential ally into yet another formidable enemy. Kenshin, already burdened by Shishio, now has to contend with a former ally's twisted redemption arc. It's like finding out your old high school rival joined the dark side, but instead of just selling out, he's now trying to actually kill you for emotional reasons. Just when you think Kenshin couldn't possibly face any more personal torment, Sanosuke arrives in Kyoto. Our favorite fist-fighting mercenary, always late but always there, has, of course, followed Kenshin against his wishes. He tracked him down by following Misao, because apparently Kenshin attracts sidekicks like a magnet attracts paperclips. Sanosuke, ever the loyal but somewhat clueless friend, is ready to throw down with anyone who looks at Kenshin funny, or really just anyone at all. His arrival adds a much-needed dose of comic relief and brute force to the team. The camaraderie between them is palpable, a comforting anchor in the gathering storm. Sanosuke, though often a chaotic element, represents the unwavering friendship Kenshin needs.
Shishio, meanwhile, isn't twiddling his thumbs. He sends one of his elite 10 swords, the Jupongatana, against Kenshin and his newfound allies. This time, it's Hoji, Shishio's cold, calculating strategist, and one of the most physically imposing members, the giant Fuji. Fuji is less a man and more a walking, talking, sword-wielding kaiju. He's enormous, an absolute mountain of a human being, and his weapon is proportional to his size. This isn't just a battle, it's a siege. Shishio's forces attack the Aoya, attempting to burn it down. The battle is a chaotic symphony of crashing blades, explosions, and desperate shouts. The Oniwabanshu, with their nimble ninja skills, fight tooth and nail to defend their home, their movements a blur against the fiery backdrop. Misao, nimble as a cat, uses her kunai with deadly precision, darting through the chaos. Sanosuke, with his massive zanbatao and powerful fists, takes on Fuji in a truly David and Goliath struggle. The ground literally shakes with each of Fuji's blows, and Sanosuke, with a mixture of determination and sheer foolishness, takes the hits, refusing to back down. The thunderous impact of their fists and weapons creates a rhythmic boom that echoes through the courtyard. It's a testament to his grit that he manages to even hold his own against such a monstrous opponent. The air is thick with the smell of burning wood and sweat. Kenshin, of course, is at the heart of the maelstrom, protecting his friends and the innocent from Shishio's relentless assault. He moves like a red blur, deflecting multiple attackers simultaneously, his sakabato a silver streak in the fading light. He protects Misao from harm, pushing her out of the way of a flying weapon, the metallic clang echoing sharply. His speed is mesmerizing, a graceful dance of evasion and precise strikes. The climax of this initial engagement is when Kenshin finally faces off against Hoji, though Hoji is more of a strategic mastermind than a fighter. It's during this desperate defense that the unthinkable happens. Kenshin's beloved sakabato, the symbol of his vow, breaks in two. The sharp, sorrowful clang of the snapping blade is deafening in the sudden silence that follows. It's a devastating blow, both literally and symbolically.
His weapon, his philosophy, his very identity is shattered. Without his reverse blade, how can he fight without killing? How can he uphold his vow? It's a moment of profound vulnerability for our hero, and the sound of it breaking is a punch to the gut for anyone watching. It's like a superhero losing their powers, or a chef losing their favorite knife. Utterly catastrophic.
With his sword broken and the reality of Shishio's overwhelming power sinking in, Kenshin realizes he needs more than just his vow. He needs to become stronger. He needs to learn the ultimate technique of his Hiten Mitsurugi Ryu style. This means seeking out his master, Seijiro Hiko XIII, a legendary swordsman and also quite possibly the most sarcastic and perpetually annoyed teacher in all of feudal Japan. Hiko lives in a secluded mountain retreat, perpetually draped in a magnificent cloak that seems to defy gravity, looking every bit the immortal master he's meant to be. Kenshin, with Misao in tow, makes the arduous journey to his master's isolated home, the path winding through dense forests, the only sounds the rustle of leaves and the gentle rush of a hidden stream. Their reunion is exactly what you'd expect from a master and his prodigal, equally stubborn student. Hiko, a man of immense power and an even more immense ego, gives Kenshin a rather frosty reception, punctuated by a healthy dose of verbal jabs and eye rolls. He's like that super-talented relative who judges all your life choices, but will still begrudgingly help you. Kenshin explains the dire situation, the threat of Shishio, and his need to learn the final technique, the Amakakaru Ryu no Hirameki. Hiko, after much grumbling and sarcastic commentary about Kenshin's idiocy and softness, agrees to train him. But this isn't going to be a walk in the park. Hiko's training is brutal, designed to push Kenshin to his absolute limits, both physically and mentally. The clang of their wooden swords, the heavy thuds of Kenshin hitting the ground, the sharp, biting criticisms from Hiko, it's a relentless symphony of agony and growth. The air itself feels charged with the energy of their clash, a palpable force that makes the leaves around them tremble. During their rigorous training, Kenshin also acquires a new reverse blade Sakabato. This one is forged by Arai Seiku, the son of the swordsmith who crafted his original blade. The process of getting it is a mini-adventure in itself, involving another confrontation with a member of the Ten Swords, the blind swordsman Usui. Usui, who boasts about being able to see people's souls, uses a small vibrating shield and a hidden blade. His perception is almost supernatural, and he's a truly unsettling opponent. Kenshin, despite having a broken sword, manages to hold his own, demonstrating his adaptability. The tactile sensation of the smooth, cool new blade in his hand is a powerful reassurance, a renewed sense of purpose. It's a beautifully crafted weapon, a testament to the legacy of its smith. This new sword, heavier and perfectly balanced, feels like an extension of Kenshin himself, ready for the battles to come. Meanwhile, Shishio's plans continue to unfold with terrifying precision. With Kenshin temporarily out of the picture, he decides to escalate his campaign of terror. The Meiji government, desperate and outmaneuvered, orders the execution of all of Shishio's captured followers, including the now imprisoned Cho, a decision that backfires spectacularly. It only fuels Shishio's narrative of a cruel and unjust government, solidifying his support among the disaffected samurai and peasants who feel betrayed by the new era. Shishio, ever the showman, uses this act of desperation to his advantage, gathering even more followers and painting himself as a liberator despite his truly brutal methods. It's classic villain manipulation, really, turning the authorities' own mistakes against them. The ultimate confrontation in Kyoto Inferno occurs at the Aoya Inn. Shishio, impatient with the slow erosion of his enemies, launches a full-scale assault. He brings his elite Jupongatana, the 10 swords, and a massive army to crush the Oniwa Banshu and eliminate Kenshin once and for all. The attack is orchestrated chaos, a brutal, overwhelming force descending upon the hidden stronghold. The battle spills out into the courtyard, a maelstrom of swords, shurikens, and desperate cries. The wooden structures of the Aoya begin to splinter and burn under the barrage. The Oniwa Banshu, led by Okina and Misao, fight with incredible valor, defending their home against insurmountable odds. The clang of steel against steel, the whoosh of ninja tools, the shouts of war fill the air. Misao, a whirlwind of motion, leaps and spins, her kunai flashing, her face a mask of fierce determination. Sanosuke, despite his earlier injuries, is a force of nature, his fists and zanbato creating shockwaves, trying to break through the sheer number of opponents. His roars echo across the battlefield, a rallying cry for the defenders. Kenshin, having completed his training, now wields his new sakabato with a renewed sense of power and purpose. He faces multiple members of the Jupongatana, moving with a speed and precision that is breathtaking. Each clash of his blade against theirs produces a sharp, echoing ring, a testament to his mastery. He disarms, disorients, and disables, his every move a testament to his vow not to kill. He's a blur of red, a ghost among the chaos, protecting everyone while still upholding his ideals. The wind whistles past his ears as he dodges a strike, the ground vibrating beneath his feet as he lands a powerful counter. The true spectacle of the film's climax, however, takes place on Shishio's enormous battleship, the Purgatory. Kenshin, realizing the true danger posed by this floating fortress, makes a daring dash to confront Shishio directly. He leaps onto the ship, a lone figure against a sky painted with the orange glow of distant fires. The Purgatory itself is a marvel of industrial might, a symbol of Shishio's ruthless modernity, its massive cannons glinting ominously. On the deck of the Purgatory, Kenshin finally comes face to face with Makoto Shishio. This isn't the final battle, but it's a momentous first encounter, a clash of titans that has been building since the movie's first frame. Shishio, with his bandaged face and a sword that literally drips fire because of his body temperature, which is a neat, terrifying detail, exudes an aura of sheer power and malice. His eyes, burning through the gaps in his bandages, convey a chilling blend of intelligence and insanity. The duel between Kenshin and Shishio is explosive. The crackle of Shishio's fiery sword, the metallic clang of Kenshin's new sakabato, the sheer force of their blows, it's a sensory overload. Shishio is incredibly strong, his moves powerful and relentless, each strike imbued with his burning hatred. Kenshin, now armed with the knowledge of his ultimate technique, tries to hold his own, but Shishio's sheer brutality and his unique, almost supernatural abilities put Kenshin at a significant disadvantage. Shishio moves with a surprising speed for such a heavily bandaged individual, a furious ballet of death. The air around them practically vibrates with their clash. Amidst the chaos of their fight, Shishio reveals the depth of his plan. He intends to bomb the entire city of Kyoto with the Purgatory's massive cannons, wiping it off the map to send a clear message to the government and to establish his new world order. The realization hits Kenshin like a physical blow. The cannon's slow, mechanical whirring, a low rumble beneath the deck, is an ominous countdown to mass destruction. The ticking of a metaphorical clock echoes in Kenshin's mind.
The climax of this initial confrontation is intense. Kenshin, despite his newfound strength, is still outmatched by Shishio's sheer power and his unexpected tactics. Shishio manages to disarm Kenshin, delivering a brutal blow that sends our hero sprawling across the deck. The ship itself is rocking, the sounds of battle from the Aoya still faintly audible. Kenshin, weakened and momentarily defeated, struggles to regain his footing. In a desperate, climactic move, Kenshin tries to reach the cannon controls, but Shishio intercepts him. The deck erupts into a furious exchange of blows, Kenshin fighting for the lives of thousands, Shishio fighting for his twisted vision of a new Japan. The metallic shriek of scraping swords is deafening. Shishio, with a cruel laugh, taunts Kenshin, mocking his ideals and his refusal to kill. He's genuinely enjoying Kenshin's struggle, savoring every moment of his apparent victory. The sheer force of Shishio's final strike in this scene sends Kenshin flying overboard. The splash as he hits the dark, swirling ocean waters is a stark, shocking sound, echoing the finality of the moment. It's a devastating blow, both emotionally and physically. The ship sails away, leaving Kenshin presumed dead. The Purgatory's engines rumble, a victorious growl as it disappears into the horizon. But because Kenshin always has a guardian angel, or a really good master, he isn't left to drown. In a truly iconic and incredibly dramatic moment, his master, Seijuro Hiko 13th, appears, diving into the ocean and rescuing a barely conscious Kenshin from the icy depths. The image of Hiko emerging from the water, Kenshin in his arms, draped in his magnificent, somehow still dry, cloak, is genuinely breathtaking. It's a moment of profound relief, a testament to the enduring bond between master and student. Hiko, ever the stoic, simply pulls Kenshin from the water, his expression unreadable, but the action speaks volumes. Kenshin is saved, but the fight is far from over. In fact, it's just getting started. The movie ends on this powerful cliffhanger, leaving us with a renewed sense of hope, even as the shadow of Shishio's purgatory looms large. The final shot is of Kenshin, battered but alive, in the arms of his master, hinting at the truly epic conclusion that awaits. And that, my friends, is where Kyoto Inferno slams on the brakes, leaving us all gasping for air and desperately needing the next chapter. What an absolute rush! As the credits roll, we're left with a swirling mix of adrenaline and contemplation. Kyoto Inferno isn't just a relentless barrage of action, it's a profound exploration of identity, sacrifice, and the heavy cost of peace. Kenshin's journey into the heart of his past, his struggle to uphold his vow against an enemy that embodies everything he despises, reminds us that true strength isn't just about wielding a sword, but about wielding one's conviction. It's about facing down overwhelming darkness, not just with power, but with an unwavering spirit and the courage to protect what you hold dear. The film beautifully captures the essence of heroism, showing us that even in the face of absolute despair, the human spirit, fueled by love and a sense of justice, can find a way to rise again.
Rurouni Kenshin, Kyoto Inferno is simply an exceptional piece of action cinema, raising the bar for live-action anime adaptations. Its meticulously choreographed fights, stunning visuals, and emotionally resonant performances make it a truly unforgettable experience. It's a thrilling, edge-of-your-seat ride that perfectly sets the stage for its explosive conclusion. Did you feel the heat of Shishio's ambition and the weight of Kenshin's burden as much as I did?